Have you ever sat there in the heat of summer and just felt exhausted and then realized that was only the end of the day Monday? You still have a whole 4 days of work to go for the week just to get to that all meaningful Friday when you know you're going to get 2 more off days. Who wants to live like that? I sure don't. And I can promise you, our guest on the show today, she doesn't want to live like that either. We're here today to help drive you through summer burnout. We should be putting on sunscreen to prevent the burn. We should be putting on a great meeting with our staff to get them included in what we're doing. And today we're going to talk about all these meaningful things to get us prepared. Welcome to the Third and 30 podcast, a coaching and leadership podcast where we believe opportunity is everything and preparation breeds confidence. Today, we're here to drive you forward and get you ready for the hot summer sun. We want you to be the best leader that you can be. Last episode, we got to do the summer reset, and I know y'all were intrigued by that one. I got plenty of messages from people saying, wow, I needed to hear that message right now. And what we talked about was what burnout is, why it affects us, and how to create the systems to build the freedom to overcome that burnout. And it's not just in the summer sun, it happens all throughout the year. We all have seasons that we hit it. And through this leadership series that we're doing for this summer, our specialized summer leadership series, we're going to give you pieces along the way to help you prevent burnout, help you build stronger, more aligned teams, and help you be the leader that you truly want to be and that they need you to be. So, with that, today we're going to dive into the H cubed formula. This is the foundation of sustainable leadership. H cubed is health, heart, and habits. Let me repeat that for those of you that need to hear it again, because I might have been talking too fast, because we know how I get in the rhythm. It is health. That is your health, your personal health. It is your heart. You having great health builds up your ability to serve people better. That's the heart. That's the heart of service, how you show up. Lastly, is our habits. Those are our daily routines. These are the systems that we put in place to develop us through each and every single weekday, month, and year. And that's what we're doing as leaders. Today, I'm so excited to have Carrie Chandler join us. Carrie brings over 20 years of HR experience helping organizations, and I love this part, helping organizations navigate the intersection of leadership culture and people strategy. It doesn't get any better than that because that's what we're all about on this show. Her expertise includes leadership, executive leadership coaching, I should say, leadership development, employee relations, conflict resolution, workplace communication. Don't we all need that? Love it. Change management, such a big part of what's going on today in society is change management. Employee engagement. How do we keep people involved? Carrie is an expert in this and building cultures where people and organizations can thrive. And this is why we needed Carrie Chandler on this show today. Carrie, welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you, Jason. It's really nice to be here. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be a great show.
I'm excited to have you on board and can't wait to learn from your perspectives. We've had an opportunity to talk just a little bit. Carrie
Yep.
knows all about the hot summer sun. She lives
Oh,
out in Nevada.
yes.
I'm in Colorado, so we're both close to the sun. She knows all about that burn.
It's very close to the sun here. It's hot.
It sure
Yes.
is. So, Carrie, let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in because you said some things that really hit me hard. And I really enjoyed learning from your perspective. When you look at the H cubed formula, what really resonated for you in this?
So, Jason, I absolutely love this framework. It's a people first framework. We spend so much time in the corporate environment, just and in work in general, talking about execution and strategy and KPIs and deliverables. And the HQ formula really puts people first. That health, it protects your capacity, and the heart, it really protects your alignment and your habits. It's about really protecting your consistency. So, those three things really resonated with me from that perspective.
I love it. That was awesome. And when she gave me just a little piece before, when we were talking days ago, getting prepared for the show, when she was highlighting these things, I was like, wow, that's deep. That's very meaningful. And something that's really important to know, I come from the public sector. Y'all know that.
Mm.
I have been a high school football coach for 16 years. I have been a Parks and Rec professional, a leader in municipalities. Carrie brings that flavor from the corporate world with her as well. And this is to show you all, it doesn't matter what walk of life you
Yeah.
are in. This stuff hits home everywhere. It is not public. It is not private. It is not corporate. It is not just sports teams. It is everywhere. And this is why the H cubed formula matters. It's the foundation beneath the leadership. This is what brings us out. H cubed is the engine of leadership performance.
Mm.
It
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
it is absolutely what drives us.
Hmm.
If I don't have my health in order,
Hmm.
I do not have the heart to show up because I don't have the energy for the tough conversation.
Yes,
Have you ever
absolutely.
had that leader that walks into a meeting and all of a sudden they sit down and they're flipping through a couple papers, and honest to God, they kind of don't look like they know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah,
Who hasn't
absolutely.
seen that before?
Right. Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is we have probably been that person before, depending on the capacity at which we're working at and how the H cube is really impacting us on a daily basis. We don't want to be those people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but to be authentic, we've probably had moments ourselves where we've been that person. So really carrying it forward so that we can encourage everyone to take care of their heart, their health, and their habits from a really deep, authentic place is so, so important.
You just opened up a great one that I really love because I did. I walked into a meeting twice. I
Mhm.
can tell you in the last, I think it was the last 8 years, it's happened to me twice where I walked in.
Mhm.
One of them was at football,
Okay.
and I'm coaching high school kids. And you know what I loved about it, Carrie?
What's that?
I had hit my capacity, okay, for the
Mhm.
week.
Mhm.
And that particular day of the week is a day I lead the offensive meeting.
Oh no.
And you know what I love about it though?
What's that?
The kids called it out very, very politely. They
Uh,
called it out.
Okay. How did they do that?
They because I was kind of fumbling through on the computer because my computer is plugged into the TV. They're seeing everything. I'm kind of fumbling through. Oh, well, here. Hey, coach, you okay today?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
we knew each other so well. You know why we knew each other so well?
Mhm.
Because our heart is always in the spot of building together.
Yeah.
That's why
Authentic
we knew
teams.
each other. We had
Hmm.
strong relationships, strong trust.
Hmm.
They felt the psychological safety as 16, 17, 18-year-olds to say, Coach, you doing okay today? Like
Uh,
you're always on it and you're always zipping through this fast, but man, you seem like something is on your mind. They didn't say you seem unprepared. They didn't say
yeah.
you don't sound like you know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Coach, it sounds like something on your mind. You
Just
seem distracted. And I paused and I stepped back for a second because you know something? In our professional world, why leaders collapse in the summer, we talk about all the time.
Mhm.
It's capacity. You hit it.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
we lose our identity because we're so busy trying to serve everyone else, we forget who we are.
Yeah, and it's not fixed, right?
No.
Capacity is not fixed. It's or static. And
Yeah.
so funny enough, I mean, you come from recreation and sports. I'm in financial services. So I'll use the banking analogy, right? So our capacity is like a bank account. We put deposits and withdrawals into it every day.
I hope my
And
capacity is bigger than my bank account.
mine too. Yeah. What did they say? You're broke as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to be broke as a joke with my H cube.
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are so accurate in that because if it wasn't for us having those tight relationships
Mhm.
and me having the emotional intelligence enough to say, I need to pause for a second.
Yeah.
We all need to collect ourselves for just a quick second.
And be able to be vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
with the people that we're working with to say, I'm tapped out right now.
Mm-hmm.
I need a moment. Let me just take a sec for to collect my thoughts and then yeah. And people respect you so much more when you're
Mm-hmm.
authentic like that.
Exactly. And you know something, you talked about the deposits and you
Mhm.
also talked about withdrawals.
Yeah.
That was my withdrawal
Mm.
at that point because I had to dive in deep and we had a great conversation for about 2 minutes on it. They gave me some space to do that. Then we got redialed in. And it wasn't that I didn't know the material.
Sure.
It was a
Yeah.
matter of computer wasn't ready,
Right.
different things going on, distractions, and we got realigned. And then we
Mhm.
went like you remember the old commercial, the Micro Machines guy who would just be and speaking 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I did Micro Machine style for the next like 8 minutes of the meeting and got them all the information they needed. Fortunately, they were an extremely intelligent group of players that I had,
That's good. They were
and
able to keep up.
they digested it all. So that then breeds that consistency we talk
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
And we have to be consistent in what we do because there's an expectation of how we show up.
Oh, yeah. And it definitely affects your personal brand. Um, if we're not showing up in a consistent fashion, your team cannot depend on where you're at. You're like a wishy-washy kind of leader in the sense they can't depend on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, consistency is key. And I think depending on where your HQ is, it really impacts that as well.
Yeah, you're 100% correct in that. And I've seen that leader who under pressure or unprepared
Hmm.
kind of makes a decision but doesn't necessarily commit in the meeting and then all of a sudden 2 days later you're finding out they went in a totally different direction
Hmm.
because that wishy-washy or lack of consistency or lack of the good old-fashioned word, the lack of stick-to-itiveness.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It
Yeah.
is. And that happens. And that's not a sustainable leadership resource for us, Carrie.
No, no, it's not.
That is also where we have to understand our capacities
Hmm.
and we have to be able to have ourselves prepared. As we kind of progress through this, we look at how health, heart, and habits collapse under pressure. You and I have already started diving into that just a little bit.
Yeah.
But now, holy smokes, I can tell you right now, I know it happens everywhere. People have family obligations. Then they have the family things they want to do. Family
Hmm.
obligations, like 4th of July is coming up. We need to go to this relative's
Yeah.
house for a barbecue versus I get to go on family vacation to Florida. I don't know why you don't want to go
Yeah.
there right now, though. It's like 100 degrees.
I
I get
don't.
to go on vacation to X, Y, or Z place. And Carrie, what we see happen so much is we get into this H cube collapse under the pressure because when
Hmm.
we face pressure and uncertainty,
Hmm.
you don't collapse for no reason. You are literally sinking to your level of training and habits and commitment.
Hmm.
And this is where we go. So that summer pattern, I know in my world it comes in all the time. The summer pattern all of a sudden becomes it's the urgency, it is reactiveness, and it creates
Yes.
exhaustion. And we
Abs.
we just lose all of our energy. So our health starts to deteriorate and
Hmm.
we don't hit the workout. We don't eat right. So now we don't have the energy to have the conversation about the difficult situation or
Oh,
we
yeah.
just don't want to deal.
Yeah. And you're not getting enough sleep.
Mm.
That's a big one. I mean, you're not even starting your day with the right amount of fuel, right? In your, cognitively, because you haven't gotten enough sleep. And depending on what's on your calendar for the day, wow, that can really impact how you
Mm.
show up.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
totally right about that. I've had that happen where I'm all of a sudden 2 p.m. and I'm just absolutely my brain's dead at that point and it's only 2 p.m. And for us, that's hard. You're trying to lead a crew.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really important for leaders to take the time to reflect on when is their best time of day to do their best work
Mm,
and show up for their people, um, to the best of their ability, right? Do I need my
absolutely.
focus time in the morning or am I an afternoon person?
Mm.
So,
When are you at your best? Because I know what it
oh,
is for me. When are you? If you're going to book, my encouragement a week ago was two 60 or 90-minute focus sessions where it's you getting your priority work done. When is that for you? If you were to book it out next week, when is it?
morning, definitely. Probably not 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Probably like 10 to noon,
Mm,
10 to 11:30. Um, yeah, that's when I need to do my deep work, that deep focused work. And then later in the afternoon, I I would rather spend time building the relationships and having conversations and leaning into those things in the afternoon rather than the deep focused computer work that you have to do to drive things forward, which isn't
I
my favorite.
totally get
That's
that.
not my favorite thing to do. I love the people. That's why I'm in human resources.
Hmm. I totally get it. And for me, it's like a mixture. I
Mm.
I like that early morning block right after my workout.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have blocked out of my calendar 7:30 a.m. till 9 or 7 a.m. till 8:30. That might be booked on my calendar 2, 3 times a week for me to
Mm.
get my focus work done. And then I do what you're talking about, where I start getting into the socialization, the building the trust soldiers with staff. It's following up with them on certain things, checking in on them, asking how you can help them to continue to build those relationships because that's the heart, Carrie. That's
Yeah,
that heart coming out.
exactly. Yes. And if you're building your day around your strengths and how they show up throughout the day, then you're going to be the most effective for the people around you. And they're going to feel that authentic leadership, and the trust is going to be really um, just nurtured over time.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we talk about our health. That's the exercise, the sleep, the
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
nutrition is so important because what we put into our bodies is what fuels our bodies.
Yes.
And how we're exercising, whatever that is. It could be walking, it could be lifting weights, doing cardio, whatever that case is of exercise. And then you get into the heart. That's the heart of service. So now, when our cup is full from our health, now our heart comes out. And that is how we serve others. That is our
Mm-hmm.
values and what drives us.
Mm-hmm.
Then that leads us to our habits. And our
Yes.
habits are our daily routines. And within these daily routines, it's also systems we build. So now we don't have to micromanage things. We can get our daily routines done because that helps us best show up for people. So if I have my 90-minute work block in the morning, I feel a sense of accomplishment because I maintain my routine. Then my part two of that routine is now flipping to do what you suggested is I go talk with the staff and I work with them and I build that
Right.
trust.
I'm feeling a little guilty right now. Like, oh, I need to build in my, workout habit a little bit more. You're motivating me, Jason. I'm like, yeah, that's actually probably something that I could pour into myself a little bit more, and that morning fuel. Like, starting your day off of 20 ounces of coffee and
Oh,
nothing to eat is probably not the best idea. You know, that does not drive our health in a significant way, and that we can show up in really erratic ways. So,
You're 10,000% right about that. And you couple that with coming in on a Monday trying to put out all the fires from things that happen on the weekend, especially in the
Oh,
sports
yeah.
realm and the parks and rec realm. That's why every Monday on LinkedIn lately I've been posting the dumpster fire. Everybody's got to
Yeah.
put out their dumpster fires, and because when we sacrifice our routines and we
Hmm.
don't follow the H cube formula, now we're reactive and we're chasing
Yes.
and we're putting out
Yes.
fires. And all of those things you and I just did such a great job of expressing to our audience, they all go out the window and we collapse under the pressure because we
Yes.
sink. We sink
Yes.
to that former level of training. We sink to our old habits.
And the health, I think, starts to slip first when our capacity gets, our cup is overflowing and we just got like no room left. The health is the first thing to go, of course. We sacrifice our sleep, we stay up too late, we don't have breakfast, we're not taking care of ourselves and moving our bodies.
Hmm.
Um, and then that ends up leading to a breakdown in like you said, like our heart, because we have value systems that we resonate with very deeply, and each and every one of us has value systems. But when we are tapped out, we can get quickly out of alignment with our value systems.
Mm.
Uh, and then we are not showing up how we really want to show up. And that can impact our personal brand. It can impact the trust of the team. And, you know, it can take years to build trust in a personal brand, and you can ruin it very quickly.
You sure can. And we've all seen it, especially with social media these days. We've all been able to see it where that does happen and a leader does lose that respect
Hmm.
or they lose the trust of the staff. So yes, that happens quickly.
Yeah.
And if we're not taking care of ourselves, that can happen so rapidly, especially when we start giving up on our health patterns. Our health
Hmm.
patterns are so critical. And help me remember, you had talked a little bit earlier, and
Hmm.
even offline, you had mentioned this about people over what?
Process.
People over
Mhm.
process.
That's very important to me.
Hmm.
Because processes are so, don't get me wrong, processes are critical.
Mm.
They, help people follow frameworks like your framework, right? Um, but if you are not putting the people first, then there's nobody to follow the process. And if they're not cared for in a truly genuine way, then those processes are going to go out the window. They're not going to want to follow them. They're going to quietly quit. They will, just basically disconnect.
Hmm. Before we move to the next part,
Yeah.
I want to highlight one thing. And I know this has been very impactful for me. So I want to know for you what this moment is. What is a sign that shows up when you feel your H cubed is starting to slip? I
Yeah.
know for me, there's two distinctive things,
Okay.
and it is my eating. If my eating is off, I'm losing my energy. I don't have the energy to do all the things that I need to do. Or number two, it's when I let other things slowly, incrementally, maybe not even noticeably at first, start dropping in to mess my habits up.
Mm.
Those are the two things for me that I can identify if something takes me out of, and don't get me wrong, I'm adaptable,
Sure.
but you do have
Well,
certain
most of us
routines.
are.
Yeah, you have certain routines that help you function at your highest levels. So what is it for you when you notice your H cubed is starting to slip?
Mine is really a physiological response. I start getting this real, genuine radiating anxiety that starts to, it actually comes from the inside out.
Ooh.
And it's, yeah, it's like kind of starts in the gut. You know, they say your gut is your second brain.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know if that's just extra, like cortisol, serotonin, all that stuff.
I just thought mine
Um,
tells me when I'm hungry, but keep going.
yeah. So it's just, it starts to be anxiety radiating from the inside out. And then I'm not cognitively thinking clearly.
Mm,
I am feeling a lot more scattered. I have a lot more what I would say brain fog, because
mm.
there's, um, have you ever heard of the word entropy?
No.
Oh,
Uh-oh, we're about
so
to learn something new.
like
Buckle up,
the
people.
yeah. So entropy is it's like a physics term where basically, everything just collapses in on itself. So I have I would say that when I am beyond capacity and things are starting to slip and the H cube is just melting away, I would say I'm in a state of entropy, like total cognitive collapse.
Mm,
Not a fun place to be.
no. No, and you know what else that sounds like? That sounds like those beginning stages of burnout.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And you just want to go sit in the corner and pretend everything doesn't exist anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you just start to shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what really triggered me to go towards the burnout
Uh,
and to really just kind of like adapt this of, hey, people get overwhelmed. That's the cause. But you keep trying to drive through it anyway, and you keep doing the same
yeah.
routines, the same things, and you don't try to change. You don't try to adapt and overcome.
Right.
And I hit burnout so bad back in like 2008. I hit
Mhm.
it so bad that I was actually going to the hospital because I was suffering from like crippling migraines.
Yeah.
I couldn't even walk.
Mm.
That's how bad the migraines were. I had to crawl into the bathroom once because it
Oh,
was that debilitating.
that is absolutely terrible. Yeah, I struggle with migraines, so I can empathize with you on that. And that is not a good place to be, especially if it's caused by stress
Hmm.
and not taking good care of yourself. I had a similar experience several years ago. I was working private equity, I was managing several startups, and I was just at over capacity. On one level, I was really enjoying what I did, but I stopped taking care of myself and I just kept losing weight. So you were talking about the eating thing. So in addition to the anxiety, I stopped eating or eating well.
Mm.
And I dropped, gosh, an extra 10 pounds. I mean, my husband was saying, Carrie, you need to eat a cheeseburger. Come on. You are not taking good care of yourself at all. And it wasn't a pretty place to be.
That is really challenging. I totally can understand that too. And with so we see all the negative that can
Yeah.
come out of not giving ourselves the great base of an HQ formula.
Hmm.
I want to go back to what you said for a minute to dive us forward now.
Okay.
We're going to go back a step onto
Hmm.
that starting block and we're going to dive forward full sail into the pool and we're going to swim as fast as we can forward through this because I
Okay.
want you to help set us straight on this. You had talked about people over process, which I love.
Hmm.
Love it. Fully agree with it. And that's a great leadership piece. And I want us to now dive forward into these hidden patterns that when we get caught up into people pleasing and over functioning and
Mm.
impression management, this is a
Hmm.
realm you have a lot of experience in. And could you just walk us through this from your perspective? Because I think you're going to have a great eye on this for us.
Yeah. So people pleasing and impression management are similar, but they're not exactly the same. People pleasing is, rooted in the desire to have everybody want to like you. It's usually driven out of a fear of rejection, um, belonging, and it's both of these dynamics start early in childhood for various reasons. I mean, most psychologists would say that they're patterns that are started very early. Impression management is kind of like the overarching umbrella, and people pleasing is one symptom underneath it. But impression management is also around, um, you know, having a desire to protect, obviously, your image, right? How
Yeah.
people see you,
Hmm. They want to be
having that.
liked.
Yeah, the flattery. Um, you want to be seen as competent. You want to be seen as responsible. So you put on a mask, like they talk about it, front of the stage and back of the stage.
Mm.
So in impression management, it's been around since like almost 1960, and it's been developed over time. But it's this idea of people performing on the stage in the front. Like, what do you want people to see? You've got your mask on, and in different scenarios, you're going to wear a certain mask. People pleasing is somewhat similar, but rooted for different outcomes.
Hmm.
And, but I would say they're both very deeply rooted in, fear, shame, sense of belonging. Um, so yeah, that I am I would say I'm a recovered people pleaser, and that's really my passion. So that is something that I am very, very passionate about helping other people navigate through,
Hmm.
because it's not really about kindness. In it seems like it is, but it's a self-protection management strategy. And it can be a superpower, interestingly enough,
Hmm.
because, yeah, yeah, people don't necessarily think of it that way, but people pleasers are so highly attuned that they can sense what's going on the second they walk into a room before anyone ever
Mm.
sits down.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that because I've worked with a couple people pleasers before,
Hmm.
and they do have that kind of emotional intelligence about
Hmm.
them.
Yes. But then it can manifest itself in really unpleasant ways, not being able to set boundaries,
Mm.
you're saying yes too much. Um, it- it's all driven by anxiety. A lot of it is driven by anxiety and fear, like I said. So, yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, and you touch base on two pieces to that that are so important to what I've seen and experienced in my career.
Hmm.
Is in one aspect, I worked with a supervisor. I had to coach through it because
Oh,
this
okay.
this supervisor was
Yeah.
working 60 hours a week,
Uh huh.
and they weren't getting their job done at all, not even close to getting their job done. And it was
Okay.
because they would not delegate because they were afraid to ask someone to do something because they all seemed like they were so busy anyway. And
Yes.
it was this well, for me to be accepted by them, I just can't challenge them. And that
Oh,
was
fear of conflict is
yes.
huge. You cannot, yeah, you don't want to um, have people dislike you. And the
Hmm.
interesting thing is, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Jason, but people pleasers, some of them are very good at managing conflict, and they can lean into the conversations. It's what happens after. It's the spiraling at 3 o'clock. It's so here's the interesting thing when you're a people pleaser, because I was very capable of leaning into conflict, right? But what would happen is I would go home and have what I call a people pleaser whiplash. It's
Sounds like a
yeah,
car accident.
well, it feels like a car accident because in the moment you can completely control. When you're with the person, you feel like you're in control. You're having the conversation. The words are coming out of
Mm,
your mouth. You're, you've got your body language. Then you go home and you no longer have control of the situation.
yeah.
The people are gone and you're sitting there with your own thoughts and you're saying, did I upset them? Did I say something that didn't resonate right? And then the
Mm,
spiraling just keeps going and going. It's not healthy.
no,
And
it's not.
yeah, and then the impression management is can be a little bit different because it can actually end up being manipulative in a negative way to try to be performative, to what I say be a corporate climber.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that. Corporate climber.
Oh yeah. I have like visualize a corporate climber, somebody like we're all on this ladder trying to make our way up to, through the corporations and build our careers. And then you have a corporate climber who just steps all over people to get to the top rung.
I hate that.
I hate it too.
Yeah, and you know who's doing it and you know what they're doing, and all the head honcho cares about is that the work's getting done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a real struggle.
It
That could be a
really
whole
is.
nother show.
It certainly could.
Just in that alone. That was a lot of fantastic insight you just shared, and really leading us to like some of the breakdown and some of what can hurt us from
Mhm.
a personal level. And I have witnessed it. I've seen it in the municipal world. And in the municipal world where it gets really challenging, you're obviously dealing with um, internal things that are going on. That's within staff and operations and buildings.
Sure.
And then you have the external of the community you're servicing.
Yeah.
And you're really trying to find this balance between everything. And this is
Mhm.
this is one of the reasons I've talked about integration so much. For me, my uniqueness, what I do is the integration method because it is the integrating of all of this. Because there is no such thing as balance. We can just
Uh,
we can just wipe the word balance right out of the dictionary. Unless you're actually trying to measure something or have balance and level and construction, that's where you can keep it.
yeah. I agree. There's too much fluidity and change, and the pace of change is just so rapid that yeah, balance
Hmm.
is not something that is realistic.
And because balance is not realistic, and with all the things that you and I have highlighted, especially the last one we just went through, because that was really deep and that was really meaningful, really important. And there's people out there that look and say, "Oh, I'm struggling with this."
Yeah.
And it's taking away from my H cubed because now I'm not maintaining my habits because my heart is so big
Mm, yeah.
and I'm being controlled by that. So I'm missing my habits and I'm letting my health deteriorate because I don't have the time to work out or I'm not eating right and I'm not getting enough sleep because I'm at home worrying about all these things.
Right.
So what I want to dive into is rebuilding our H cube formula. How do we rebuild? It's simple, sustainable practices. Rebuilding our H cube formula. If we've lost something this summer, or if we've rescinded on something, or if we've looked and said, I just don't have the time for X, Y, or Z.
Mhm.
The key is it's not about us doing anything more. Because so many people just, oh, I'm going to do
Yeah.
more. I'm going to work a little bit harder this week. I'm going to, something, I'm just going to eat extra good this week and it's all going to make up for the crap I've eaten for the last month. Let me tell you, that doesn't work because my scale tells me it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
It
go ahead.
definitely not sustain well, I was just gonna say, yeah, it doesn't work. It's not sustainable. People have the best intentions, but it kind of is like trying to relive New Year's Eve resolutions all over
Oh,
again.
geez. And we already know 85% of you gave up your New Year's resolution in the month of February. We already know that. 85% of you did this.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
7% more, I think it's by like April. So now
Wow.
you're looking at 8% of people are still holding on to a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
8%.
That
So
actually seems high to me, but
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think the 8% that said, yes, I still maintain mine, they're just not courageous enough to say, yeah, I totally missed that one too.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's okay because we've all been there. The key now is we have to return to what works. We know
Yeah.
what works. We've been there before. We've done it.
Hmm.
We have to set up our boundaries,
Hmm.
establish our standards,
Hmm. Yes.
and go back to the small habits.
Yeah.
It's not
And
hard. I can literally say, you know something? I know my eating has been off. I'm just starting tomorrow because it's night. We're recording this at night right now, so it's at nighttime. So tomorrow I'm getting back to this, and this is what I'm doing to fuel my body.
right.
Don't wait. Don't wait for the magical. I'm gonna wait for January 1 to do this. No, that's junk.
That is junk.
That is
There's,
junk. Get rid of that. Don't
yeah.
wait for a special day. I'm gonna wait till my birthday that's in 3 weeks, or I'm gonna wait till this. No, start tomorrow. Make the
Yeah.
commitment to yourself.
And even if do it in small chunks. You
Mm,
don't, have to go to the gym and do an hour and a half workout. You know, put your tennis shoes on and walk around the block if you haven't been doing anything. That's what we usually set ourselves up for failure because especially if we're overachievers, we're like, okay, we're going to do this now. And we put these just lofty goals and then we just fall flat and feel like a failure and then just say, oh, forget it. We just won't put time and energy into it. And then the cycle just continues.
that is absolutely what happens.
yeah.
Verbatim. It is, hey, I'm gonna do these 6 things next week. And none of the 6 lead us to where we're trying to go. And that happens all the time because you have to pick. You have to narrow it down to something. I was reading a book by Michael Timms. It's called, and I just pulled out my phone so I don't mess up the title. It's called How Leaders Can Inspire Accountability.
Mm,
Michael Timms is the author. How Leaders Can Inspire Accountability. 3 habits that make or break leaders and elevate organizational performance. And one of
nice.
the things he talks about is creating the habits.
Hmm.
And I already had this H cube formula. So obviously, this book was enticing to me. And that's why I wanted to
Hmm.
read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He literally walks through a step by step process. What I'm saying, you can rebuild the system. Yeah, things break. I
Hmm.
can tell you right now, records are meant to be broken in sports.
Hmm.
Records in any walk of life are meant to be broken.
Hmm.
Policies are meant to be broken and changed.
Hmm.
Procedures are meant to be broken and changed. And you know something, our habits get broken at times. Sometimes it means change, and sometimes it means regroup and reconstruct. He literally
Yeah.
talked about someone struggling with their health journey. And there wasn't an actual person. He was fictitiously saying if someone was struggling with their health journey, wake up tomorrow, 6 a.m., and put on and just sit up in the bed like you're going to go work out. If you just can't get yourself
Yeah.
to go to the gym,
Yep.
then the next day, sit up again, get up this time and go to the bathroom. If you can't get yourself, and
Yeah.
eventually it works up the cycle, you get up, you get dressed, you put on your shoes, you pack your bag, and you drive to the gym and you never get out of the car if you can't.
Correct.
However,
Yes.
it's a step forward to get to that process.
Hmm.
Now,
Yes. And
most of us aren't going to have that much of a struggle with it.
right. Yes. But even something as simple as, doing sit ups, push ups,
Hmm.
and, you know, even just sit ups and push ups every day, right? Okay. I'm
Hmm.
going to start with 5 minutes. I'm going to do 10 in the morning and 10 at night. Just like you said, going back to the consistency.
Hmm.
Um, it does make a difference. It's habit stacking. Goes back to atomic habits, right? And
Yeah,
yeah,
I read that one
yeah,
too.
yeah. Stat habit stacking. It's very, very helpful.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you hit it right because I fast forwarded so much. That was one of the steps. Just get up out of bed and do push-ups and sit-ups.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you read the book.
Well, yeah, I had the opportunity at one point to work with some pretty amazing people who one was an Olympian and one was
Oh, wow.
there are a lot of military individuals and you want to talk about getting some motivation going. Yeah, that was a period of time where I was definitely following their lead. And to that point, it reminds me having someone come alongside you and having accountability partners to lift each other up is a really important part of that process, which we didn't talk about, but having somebody to check in with.
Hmm. You are so accurate in that. And I'm glad you just hit that because even us doing this
Hmm.
show right now, Carrie and myself, we can be that accountability partner if you need one. Hit
Oh
us up.
yeah,
Find us. You'll see
that's
this
right.
posted. You'll see our social media tags. Hit us up. Talk to us. You're
Hmm.
you're never alone in this. There's always people out there that are willing to be those accountability partners, and you don't even have to pay us like a personal trainer. When you go to the gym and you have the personal trainer, there's a fee associated with that, so our mindset changes, and
Correct. When
and
you're,
we feel obligated.
yes, yeah, yeah, I'm just coming at it from a service oriented perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just giving back to humanity, helping others lift each other up. When you talk about the heart, just to kind of dive a little bit backwards to that and the alignment, some of the work that I do, a lot of it is centered on coaching and coaching around mindset. So
Mm-hmm.
when we get out of alignment and our values are out of alignment, we start to feel really terrible about ourselves. And then we start to create these stories. And then we tap into these childhood negative core narratives that
Mm.
don't serve us well at all. If there's one recommendation that I could make around the heart part, is to reflect on what your negative core narratives are and flip that script, rewrite it, and memorize them. Take three, right? If feel like you don't belong, like your new core narrative is, I belong everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you feel like you're not safe in situations, I am safe no matter where I'm at.
I like that.
And yeah, yeah.
And
Rewriting core narratives and tapping into your value system again is super important.
and it's positive self-talk.
100%.
Who doesn't want some positive self-talk?
Do you know that your brain cannot tell the difference when you're joking with yourself? If you say to yourself, "Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid," your brain cannot tell the difference that the brain cannot tell the difference if you are joking or not.
That's sad.
It is sad. I know. We can't so just be mindful of that. If you are, really a sarcastic person and you're kinda just love to give yourself a hard time or other people a hard time, it can have a negative impact, lasting impact.
So that's through your self-talk.
Yeah.
So if I say it to Siri and Siri gives me positive feedback back, does that then reverse my brain so that I'm okay?
Oh, well. Gosh, I haven't done enough studies on Siri. I will say that there's some really cool um subconscious audiobooks out there. I mean, total rabbit hole, but
Hmm.
you can literally listen to these sleep tracks and it taps into your subconscious brain. So while you're sleeping, you're getting information to your subconscious brain that's helping rewire it. It's very cool. And
That
I have seen it work.
that does sound really cool. It speaking through that same notion as we progress through this, um, what I would love to do is dive in to reinforcing the identity during peak season again. And you had some really good takes on this before. Can you walk us through kind of what you've experienced and kind of your take on reinforcing identity during these peak seasons?
Um, well, I think, you know, leaders often really over identify with being dependable
Mm.
and capable and needed. So in peak seasons, it's very easy for them to overfunction.
I
And
see it all
when,
the time.
oh, yeah.
Mm.
And we want to pick up the slack for other people because we feel like, oh, my team's taking on so much. And then the leader ends up taking on more than they should. And interestingly, that limits the team's growth and opportunities to advance their own skill sets and their own careers. So don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, what you're talking about is so deep because I've seen it on such big levels before.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden leaders forget how to delegate.
Yes.
And I say that loosely. It's not that they forget. They
Hmm.
lack the capacity now to feel comfortable delegating because, oh, well, that person's working so hard. I need to do this or this.
Right.
I need to help them out in this way, but it doesn't mean I get to get rid of anything that I'm working on.
Correct.
Yeah, and that
Correct.
becomes really hard. And now all of a sudden that just it's like an anchor pulling us down amidst the chaos, especially in
Hmm.
us like for me in Parks and Rec, it's especially in the summer. In sports, I'm a
Hmm.
football person, so sometimes it's in the summer, sometimes it's in the fall. And these just become like an anchor. So we have to figure out how to rebalance ourselves and why we need to really think about who do I want to be as a leader
Hmm.
and who do I want to be as a developer of people?
Correct.
And how do I bring these people along with it? Because I'm not helping them by taking everything away and doing
Hmm.
it myself. I'm actually enabling them at that point. So how do I keep
Yes.
building them?
Yeah. And like I said, you're depriving them of the opportunity to be stretched and grow because you're in a protection mechanism.
Hmm.
So taking the time to reflect on how you want to show up as a leader every day. What are the behaviors that I want to exhibit? How do I want to, you know, are my core values being calm? Um, are do like or
Yeah.
am I just the Tasmanian devil like swirling through the office? Because I've seen leaders do that. They're so overloaded with capacity and they're carrying so
Hmm.
much, then their teams just keeps they're looking at them like, wow, they they lose confidence in their leader
Sure do.
because they see the leader spinning out. And then they're sitting there going, why isn't the lead why aren't they asking me to do it? I can help.
Hmm.
Um so I don't know if that completely answered your question.
It does. And one thing that I have witnessed before is the Tasmanian devil leader who just
Mhm.
one negative thing comes their way when they're just not even at capacity, maybe not even near capacity. They spin out of control, and then
Mhm.
staff, why do I want to go tell this person about this negative thing when they're going to freak out about it? I I can go
Oh
handle
yeah.
this on my own.
Mhm.
I can go handle this on my own and update them next week in a staff meeting.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's like, hey, something there has to be a consistency in how we show up. And
Yeah,
reasonably speaking, staff has an expectation for how we show up and how we handle things. So
correct.
if we can have some calm within the chaos,
Mhm.
that's going to really help us have the heart in the H cube formula. And then our habits, they're routine, they're a standard of living. And the
Mhm.
staff buys into these boundaries as well. And that's
Yeah.
how we continue through the chaos and through the avoiding the summer burnout.
Yeah, I think I mentioned, when we're in those seasons, a lot of times we move our fence line, uh,
Yeah.
or the goalpost, as you might say it in your world, right?
Uh-huh.
If that has happened, just reevaluate and move it back.
I
Um,
love that.
be, yeah, because we do slip, and all of a sudden we will realize that, oh, wow, I took on way more. Maybe that project I did too much. Spending some time in reflection. Why did I do that? For the sake of what did I take on more than I was supposed to?
Mm-hmm.
And answering that question from us like a mindset perspective, and tapping into that so that the next time it happens, you can correct that behavior and lift up your team and rise together as a team.
And that's such great self-identification too.
Yeah.
That's something I really enjoy about what you just went through is you as a leader, me as a leader, everybody as a leader, being able to identify. And sometimes you just have to deal with it in those couple moments or those couple days, but
Hmm.
then you know how to adjust and adapt moving forward.
Right.
And I think that leads right to where we're trying to go for this last part is
Okay.
one habit for the next 14 days. And I want you to introduce this next part because when you told me you had a thought, I was like, "Wow, Carrie, this is great. Take over the show." So
Well,
I want you to introduce this next part and just hit those three key components because I thought you just did a brilliant job on this part.
well, my suggestion was to do an H cube check in, morning and night. So in the morning, taking the time before you start your day, don't even pick up that phone. Leave it on the nightstand, right?
You
Because
caught me.
if you pick up your phone, the day's over, right? You're scrolling,
Uh-huh.
it's done with. Check in with yourself. What does my body need today? Okay. Did I sleep good? Did I go to bed early enough? What does my calendar look like? How did I what does my calendar look like to fuel myself, my body, right? Tap into that. And then your heart. How will I lead today? Because each day is different, and we will be interacting with different people depending on our calendar. So, yes, we have our core values and we show up. We want to show up very grounded, courageous, and consistent. But to that end, we might need to lead a different way depending on what's happening that day. And then habits. What's one commitment that you're going to keep to yourself today? Just taking a moment, whatever your habit stacking is, whatever you're focusing on, what's the one commitment that you'll keep to yourself? And then at night, ask yourself these two questions: what strengthened my capacity today, and what depleted it?
I love
And
that.
and just then, if you did that for a month and then you looked back, you would see some pretty powerful patterns and be able to pivot and adjust to really nurture that H cubed formula.
I really like that. And that's one reason why when you had mentioned that, I was like, Carrie's got to take over the show for this part because I can't say
Well,
it
I
so
appreciate that.
eloquently. And this is a beautiful part here. And I'm going to come right back to this because it is so important. And one thing I have
Yeah.
really learned is that reflection piece is really important. It's like an evaluation of what did we do, how did we do, how did it work,
Yes.
and If we don't do that, we really are not monitoring and we're not going to improve. And we're going to fall back into the rut that we talked about earlier. We're going to fall back into those bad habits. You're going to sink to your level of training. You're going to sink to the old habits.
100%. It's, I mean, emotional intelligence. The very first one is self-awareness. How can you have self-management or relationship management, you know, if you do not have self-awareness? And so reflection is really, really important.
Bingo. Absolutely. As I'm like the senior at the senior center. Bingo. That's the one. That's the one there. We have covered so many things in this show. It has been awesome insight. And every time we come on here, I'm learning something. I'm trying to teach
Yeah.
something as well. I'm trying to give back something and I'm learning something. So loved having you on here today and to look at kind of the big things that we covered. It was going into the HQ formula and talking about the importance of health and how our health dictates how we show up
Mhm.
by getting enough rest and finding downtime and enjoying that downtime because that's equally
Mm.
important. It's not just sleep, it's
Yeah.
that rest as well. It's the sitting down, watching a show, having an adult beverage, doing whatever you do to decompress for the day,
Mhm.
getting
Mhm.
the quality sleep, eating right because that's what fuels our body. And I'm telling you right now, especially in the summer, people forget to hydrate.
Oh, yeah.
Hydrating is so important to how you function.
Mhm.
And the next piece to that then is that heart and how you show up and how you serve and the capacity at which you have to do these things. And then lastly, the habits.
Mhm.
If our first two are not in alignment, we're going to be chasing things and we're going to be putting out fires everywhere. And we're not going to have the energy to do that or sustain it. And then our habits are going to start to deteriorate. So our habits have to be in place. That is our daily routines. That is the systems we put in place at work. One of the things we talk about with this integration method overall
Mhm.
with what I do is build systems that create freedom. And we talked
Love
about
that.
that. We talked about that some in the first episode. It's the integration method. How do you integrate all these things together? Because your life is your work, is your life, is your social, everything. It's all integrated together. I can tell you right now, when
Yeah.
I go to the grocery store, people know who I am. When I go to the football field, people also knew who I was in my work life too. It's all integrated together. So, what
Yeah.
you do at each step is still a reflection of you. You're not three different people, you're one person wearing three different hats.
Yes. I always say, no matter where you go, there you are.
Exactly. So again, the HQ formula is so important for us, and our sustainable leadership requires this of us to serve others in the way that we want to. I
Yes.
invite our listeners, and we'll put this on our social media post. I invite our listeners, and you can also email. You can email,
Yeah.
DM on social media, hit us up.
Yes.
It is so important because I want you to see the daily H Cube check-in that Carrie put together. This is beautiful. I want you to practice it on a daily basis. I invite you as listeners to practice this and hit us up and send us what you're learning about your H cube formula. Send us what you're learning about this. And I definitely want you to tune in to our next episode because we've kind of teased at it throughout all of this show accidentally because the show goes where the show goes. We talk
Yeah.
about the things that pop up on our mind. Carrie doesn't even know what the next show is. we had zero conversation about the next show. Carrie knew what this show was going to be because she joined the show. So she
Yeah.
had to know what we were going to talk about. So, the next show, episode 3 of the Summer Leadership Series, we are going to dive into standards, boundaries, and preparation and how daily systems reduce chaos.
Oh, it's awesome.
What a beautiful segue this show creates for that.
Yes.
It's almost like we planned it. I'm just kidding. It was obviously planned for a summer leadership series. So
But it,
we did plan it.
yeah, but it did ebb and flow very naturally and come together pretty nicely. So I think that, it worked out really well.
It did. It did. And Carrie, I can't thank you enough for joining this show today. It's been a pleasure having you on. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening and to teach us along the way. And so much valuable insight that you've provided. So I really appreciate you being here. Any final thoughts before we depart?
Yeah, the only thing that I want to say is you can put people first without sacrificing yourself, but
Mm,
only if you protect your foundation. So protect your foundation in all three of the areas that Jason has so beautifully put together in his framework. That's my parting thought.
I love that. I love that. And that's so beautifully said. And it takes us to the next episode as well, where you're going to learn about those standards and those boundaries and maintaining your foundation further through those to eliminate the chaos.
I'll,
It's go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, I'll be tuning in.
All right, we have a new listener.
Yes.
Carrie, I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for your contributions to the show today. And we look forward to connecting with you again in the future on another episode and continuing to follow you on social media and learn more from you day by day.
Well, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I wish you all the best for a summer that is just protective from this scorching heat and nurturing your H cube formula.
Absolutely. And y'all out there listening, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Our podcast is on all major platforms, and you can find us on YouTube. We are the Third and 30 podcast.